In this video, I'm going to give you a roadmap to help you reach $100,000 in revenue. What's going on, everybody? My name is Joe and you are on the Family Flips YouTube channel. My wife and I, Jessica, we are full-time resellers. We buy liquidated goods and consumer electronics and we sell them online for profit. And in this video, we're talking about a roadmap to help you achieve that $100,000 a year sales goal. I know for a lot of people, especially people who are transitioning or wanting to go from being a part-time reseller to a full-time reseller, a big goal is to be able to reach $100,000 a year in revenue. And this isn't going to be a video talking about what to buy and this and that, but it is going to provide a strategy that I believe if you follow, it will help you achieve those sales goals you have. And I'm talking about revenue here, but you can easily use this same roadmap, this same strategy to hit $100,000 a year in profit. So when you hear $100,000, you're like, man, that's a large number. How am I even going to be able to achieve that? Especially if you're in the process where you're only selling $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a month. But you're talking about $100,000 a year. It's not really as difficult as you think once you look at it from a different perspective. So when you think about the $100,000 a year, like, man, that's a lot. But when you break it down into months, that's $8,350 per month, or daily, that's $278 per day that you need to sell. So you're looking at per day, you've got to sell at least 10 items for an average sale price of $28. So to make it easier, let's just say $300 a day in sales. Let's not worry about the $278, just for simplicity purposes. $300 per day in sales is what you want to shoot for. If you're wanting to do $100,000 a year in profit, well, then your goal would be $300 a day in profit. All right, so if you are a reseller and like us, you're probably buying a lot of items that are one-off items. You know, you got the big difference between a reseller and a retailer. A retailer is somebody who is going to either they do private label or they do wholesale. They've got a deal with Canon to buy X amount of stuff and they turn around and they sell that at a profit, right? Or a reseller is somebody who buys from like a store, they buy from a thrift store, and then they resell those items for profit online or in their local community. And that's really the big difference between a reseller and a retailer. So if you're a reseller, then you're probably going to be doing a lot of your sourcing from like garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales, pawn shops, online arbitrage, retail arbitrage like Ross's, things of that nature. That's part of your sourcing strategy for being a reseller. So if you're sourcing from these different types of places, you're probably, when you first start reselling, that you're just going to be buying just about anything you can to sell for profit. Anything from jeans to shirts to shoes to vintage electronics, core, all kinds of things. It doesn't really matter as long as you can buy it and you can make money off of it. That's kind of going to be your strategy when going into it. But I'm going to talk a little bit about something today that's going to help you be more focused. And I believe if you follow the roadmap, it will help you achieve the sales goals that you're wanting to reach. So when you are sourcing from all these places, you have got to have a vast amount of knowledge and experience, because there's just so much stuff to think about buying. When you go to a garage sale, there's stuff everywhere. There's so much information that you have to know that it's extremely hard for you to be what I call a subject matter expert at everything. So as I have found is that resellers who are doing over $100,000 a year in revenue and profit is, yes, they do sell a wide variety of stuff, but when you look at their store, they sell a lot of the same items within a specific category. Like they'll sell jeans, and not just jeans, but men's jeans, or they'll sell vintage clothing, or like us, we sell a lot of cell phones, we sell a lot of digital cameras. And there's a reason for this. The least amount of categories, or niche, as some people would call it, that you sell in, it's going to give you a greater opportunity to be able to develop a knowledge that is much deeper around those specific items. You're going to be able to know sales trends, which time of year those items sell better than others. You're going to know what's trending, if there's changes with clothings and styles, because you are in that category, you're in that niche, you're sourcing a lot, you're selling a lot, you're able to follow trends a lot easier. You become much more knowledgeable in that. So what this allows you to do is, when you have such a vast knowledge about a category or a couple different categories, is that it does allow you to make sourcing decisions much faster. When you're going to a garage sale, instead of having to look at an item and look at price comps to see how much it's sold for, how many have sold in the last 90 days, you know it. You don't have to spend as much time doing the research in the moment. But also it allows you to create sourcing strategies to where you may not have to go to thrift stores or Goodwill to source those items. So what it allows you to do also, it allows you to really create a more detailed sourcing strategy so that you can choose a sourcing technique that best matches what you're wanting to do. Like, so like if you're selling shoes, and in your area that there aren't a lot of places to sell shoes, but you're wanting to sell shoes, well, you can create a technique that, instead of going to thrift stores or garage sales or all these places to source shoes, well, you may want to look at buying shoes in liquidation. There's lots of places that you can do that. All right. So really, when you become that subject matter expert in those 1, 2, 3 categories that you really enjoy, it's going to cause you to be much more efficient in that, so that you can then use your energies to go and do other things, to go to build other aspects of your business, like to improve your listing process, your photographing process, all those things that will help bring you more money to the table. Like, you've heard all of this, you're like, yeah, Joe, like I want to be able to become more focused in what I'm buying. That, yes, I want to have a good, decent knowledge of all of these different items and categories, so that when I do go to garage sales or Goodwills, that I have a basic level of understanding of the value of things. But really, I want to go to the next level. I want to hit that $100,000 a year in revenue or profit. Like, how do I do that? So here's what you do. Like, still, while you're selling, while you're going and buying those things, what you should do is really focus in on one category, right? You're still doing the other, but you're really focusing on building one category. So like, if you use thrifting as a sourcing technique, or your main sourcing technique, what that would look like is that, yes, you still go to thrifting, and you still go and you scan the store, and you're picking out, those electronics, or those glassware, or the books, the DVDs, but you want to focus on women's jeans, for instance. Well, you would spend a good amount of your time sourcing the jeans. Like, you're going to look at the jeans, you're going to look at sales trends, how much they're selling for. You're going to start building up your jean knowledge, so that whenever you are going in sourcing and you're looking at jeans, you can tell immediately. Like, you don't have to pull out every pair of jeans. You can look at the seam, the hem, the butt, whatever it is that you become knowledgeable at, you can make those decisions faster, right? So you do that, you're buying jeans, you're still buying those other things because you still want that to be part of your business, but you're getting it to where you're selling $100 a day in women's jeans. If you're wanting to profit $100,000 a year, you get to where you're profiting $100 a day in sales from women's jeans only. Once you've established that and you are averaging $100 a day in sales or profit in jeans, then you start focusing on another category. So say it's shoes. You've got the jeans, now you're wanting to focus on shoes. So because you're not having to spend so much time while you're out thrifting on finding the jeans, because you can make those fast decisions, now you can spend a little bit more time on shoes. So you're looking at the shoes, you're scanning them, you're looking at price comps, you're making appraisals on those, you're becoming familiar with the sales trends, you're starting to sell shoes, and then you get to where you're selling or profiting $100 a day in shoes, right? And also you're still profiting or selling $100 a day in jeans. Now you've got two categories that are selling or profiting $100 a day. So that's almost, the $6,000. Well, it's like 58. I don't know the math, between $5,500 and $6,000 a month in sales you are now hitting, which is awesome, right? So now say, well, I'm wanting to do suits. Like men's suits are an item that a lot of people don't do because you've got to have knowledge with them, but there's such a vast amount of suits available at thrift stores. Say now you wanted to be able to start building men's suits to that volume. So now you don't have to spend as much time sourcing women's jeans because you are a subject matter expert in that. You don't have to spend as much time sourcing shoes because you've now built yourself to a subject matter expert. Now you're going to focus on suits. So now you can go and you can have more time to look up suits, to the brands, the styles, to see what they're selling for on eBay, how long it's taken them to sell. So then you start building that up to $100 a day in sales or profit, right? So now you've got the three, right? Now you can you've got the three, you're feeding those. Now it's really about, once you've hit that point, now it's about you're just fine-tuning your processes. Maybe I don't have to go to thrift stores. Maybe I can look at buying in bulk. Maybe there's some bulk places. Maybe I can put out ads on Facebook to where I'm sourcing mainly those items. But then when you are sourcing, you are going out these places, you're still able to pick up all those other items that you still have throughout this process that just add to it. They're like the gravy on your bread and butter items. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that I've provided you with some language, some strategy to where you can now follow, that I hope it's easier for you to understand that hitting these larger sales goals, it's not impossible, but you do have to be focused, you do have to have a strategy, and you do have to become subject matter experts in smaller amount of categories so that you can have a greater bang for your buck, so that you can have a greater focus and a greater sourcing strategy that lines up with your sales goals. So put your comments down below what you thought about this video, any other sourcing strategy techniques or tips that you'd like to give other eBay resellers. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Until next time, peace.